Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Jackie Fish and welcome back to some more Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord. Today we are diving in with the Crusader pack. The Crusader pack from my Life of a Crusader is now back and updated for 1.71. If you guys never saw my Life of a Crusader, it's definitely a series I recommend you check out. I'll leave a link to it down below. We basically started off as a lonely blacksmith and rose to the top of the Crusader faction, conquering everybody in our path with tons of new custom armors, weapons, and so much more. And this mod goes ahead and basically updates that for 1.7.1, and it is absolutely awesome. I'll leave a link to it down below in the description, and I'll also at the end of this video show you guys exactly how to install this. So if you do enjoy that and want to see more install guides, I really appreciate it if you could drop a like and a comment down below. It helps balance out the watch time of people jumping off the video when we get to that point, so thank you so much. Let's go ahead and dive into the video right now though, and we'll see exactly what the Crusaders have to offer. All of Crusader will be praised this day, and the Knights Templar are here. So if we take a look at them, as you can see, they have gone ahead and occupied the space that vlandia have, and we have many different clans, from the Teutonic Order in the north fighting the Slavs to the Knights Templar in the south, pushing down into the Azerai lands and defeating the Empire. So there are a ton of new factions and units in this mod, of course, and we can take a look at some of them right now. If we go over to the recruitment, I say that, and there are no recruits to be had. The men are being rallied right here, and there you go. So as you can see, this is a completely new roster. There are tons of new units as well. Actually, I'll show you that quite quickly as well. There's tons of new armors for all the different lords across the crusading state. Again, you can see plenty of different armors and equipments, which really brings them to life. Again, you got the Spanish knights here with some Knights Hospitaller equipment on. You have the Order of Christ as well, with new different plates and other stuff like that, which is really, really cool. So yeah, it brings all the lords up to scratch and gives them some really good armor. And then we have the actual unit trees themselves. So we have the Crusading recruits, and these break off into multiple different troop trees. We have the crossbow line right here that goes off, and as you get further down in the tier 3s and tier 4s, you get plate armor. Not plate armor, sorry, a lot more mail, and then some plate on the shoulders, and then finally the sharpshooters at the end. Pretty deadly as well. 130 crossbow skill will be pretty decent on the battlefield. The actual spearmen as well, the Crusader initiates, looking pretty strong as well. Starting off, as soon as you get to that tier 2, you have some pretty decent armor. The mail shirt with 15 body armor is not too bad, and then you end up getting further down into the billhook with 60 body armor. So when you get to your tier 4s, it's going to be super scary. And then the Crusader Knight mail as well, 35 body armor. So these guys are going to be tanky. They're going to be pretty strong when it comes to just holding the line, taking damage, especially the higher tiers as well. And yeah, even look at that. The boyars have 70 body armor, which is insane, actually. That is crazy. I would imagine this is because these are like two-handed weapon dudes. You know, they have a big old polearm or a bill axe or a two-handed sword. They don't have any shields. So I guess maybe that extra armor is actually there to kind of really help them survive missile fire, which actually I really like that. I like that, you know, the two-handed do have kind of that missile block almost chance embedded into their armor. We also have cavalry as well. Again, with that 60 body armor. Yeah, these are heavy knights, and we also have obviously the knightly lance as well. It would have been cool if we would have got the lances from the mod that I used in Life of a Crusader, but I guess maybe that's not updated, or the modder couldn't get permission for it. But yeah, that would have been very cool indeed. Then we of course have the knight sergeants and the Crusader swordsman as well. So a pretty good roster. Also, something to keep in mind, that this isn't just what they look like. There is a ton. I think Ramsey, the guy who created this, told me there's something like 200 different variants for all the different units combined. So there are plenty of different swords, weapons, armors, shirts, helmets that will change when in your playthroughs. Not one soldier will basically look the same. And we'll dive into a battle momentarily as well, so that you guys can see actually all the units as well. We also want to take a quick look at the actual the elite tree as well. So we have the squires, the gallants, the Crusader knights, the champions, and then finally the heavy knights. And again, these guys, 70 body armor, a very strong lance, some good shield, a knightly arming sword, and obviously a very good horse as well. The Vlandian horse is super strong. So yeah, that's going to be it for the campaign itself. Of course, all these weapons as well will be able to be bought in the shop as well. So if you can go ahead and find them, there'll be plenty of custom armors in here, as you can see, some trim plate boots, There's actually not much here, but obviously it builds up over time. And yeah, you'll be able to buy all this equipment in the shop as well. So using Swardian armor and also the custom units that Ramsey's added in himself, you'll be able to grab all of this and all the horse saddles and stuff like that, weapons and axes and stuff that have again all been added with this mod. You'll be able to buy actually in the shop. And if you use something like My Little Warband, you'll be able to use that to create again your own roster if that's what you want. Okay guys, so we are now in the battle and you can see some of these soldiers close up. So on our front line we have a lot of the tier 3s and tier 4s, so nothing too crazy, but you can see all the different variations in their equipment, the different kind of overcoat, shields and swords and helmets and other stuff like that. Some have swords, axes, some have maces. They are all equipped with a spear, which is a nice little addition, so they can obviously fend off cavalry. Behind that we do have some of our upper tier units as well, plenty of different variations in the mail and armor. The coat does seem like it's a little bit weird. It seems a little bit tight on the soldiers, but still it looks absolutely fine, definitely playable for sure. And obviously you can see our cavalry behind that as well in all the different glorious variations as well on these knightly soldiers. Again, it would be kind of cool to get more variation on maybe the plumes. There's kind of some colors in there, would be a nice addition to it. And then we have our boyars over here, so obviously our elite shock infantry ready to come clashing in at a moment's notice. And then finally our elite crossbowmen here as well, then for these shields looking nice as well. Let's go ahead and set up our line. We are obviously fighting away against the enemy Aserai, and I think what we'll do is we'll just kind of set up our battle line as best as we can. So we'll have that line right there, we'll have the dudes there, and then we'll have, I guess, this elite like line of shock infantry ready behind the hill to come flying in. We'll put our crossbows at the top of the hill, and then we'll split our cavalry up and give it over to the AI. As the AI does do a pretty good job with regards to the cavalry. And as you can see, we have our mace on Derhart, we have our shield, and we obviously have our spear as well. So let's obviously get our soldiers up here, and we'll see how they perform. We'll see how they perform against the Aserai. I gave them a ton of infantry. One thing I'm actually quite scared of, to be honest, is going to be all their javelins. The Aserai are pretty renowned for them javelins, and we'll get our missiles into that loose formation as well, boys. Spread out and start hammering them. Oh my god, our cavalry! If the AI is just charging deep into the ranks, don't forget about me. I'm on my way. I mean, the cavalry doing a pretty good job so far. There's one Aserai less to deal with. You can see the balance of power as well is also, pretty much, favoring them. Let's also move up the infantry a little bit as well. I'm kind of scared our voyeurs will actually be in not a great position because they are quite far away. So maybe let's start moving them in already, and let's get these guys into a skein formation. That little arrow formation will hopefully do us pretty well. I mean, so far the shield wall is holding. Obviously, they haven't really clashed against us. So one less Aserai to deal with, and I'll get this infantry into a shield wall as well. Our knights into a shield wall, and here they come. Yeah, the voyeurs are making their way in now as well, so let's start pushing them in. The cavalry is just doing tons of damage, and there you go. The javelins are now hitting in against us. Oh, they've completely overrun our flank. We can now charge in the voyeurs and see what they're... Oh my god, slicing through. And with that 70 armor, I think they're going to be really, really strong. Our front line is holding. We can even go on slow-mo a little bit as well. You can see that front line holding quite nicely. The infantry on this side doing an amazing job. Oh my god, we are cutting them down. I mean, these are like the tier 4 Aserai, so I expected something from them. But yeah, with the mix of our voyeurs slicing through them, big old weapons, that heavy armor, yeah, they are going to be deadly. Our cavalry are doing a great job as well. I mean, that 70 plus armor is insane. And in a campaign, of course, you wouldn't be having all of this, all of this extra elite soldiers. Okay, they have managed to wrap up that flank quite deadly. So let's go ahead and tell them to charge. I'll tell this infantry line to charge as well, and I'll get them out of shield wall as well. Yeah, I mean, the Aserai actually did do pretty good overall. I've got a little javelin in my back as well. Yeah, actually, they've kind of pulled it back now. They closed down that flank quite nicely, and have been able to close it down and actually bring it back. Not too bad. So let's continue to move on. Derhart, even with a javelin in his back, is holding firm. I think a lot of the Aserai soldiers are starting to give up now. Yeah, the knights are pushing forward. Crossbows are firing. And There's only a handful of them left now. I think it's mainly just the archers. So one of the things we could do is we could push into shield wall again and then just tell these guys to advance. It's a great way of dealing with the missiles. The mace as well would be great for breaking a lot of these soldiers down. So yeah, another mod that the mod creator does recommend that you do go ahead and use is going to be the realistic battle mod. I don't have it on in this playthrough, but it will go ahead and make heavily armored units more effective, but it'll make them slower so they can get outmaneuvered and hit around the side. Also, obviously, the banner mod as well would be a great addition. It's something, again, I don't have on in this playthrough or this little video, but having all the banners fluttering in the winds would be great with all the different banners from the crusading factions. I think it would be great. Okay, we're close enough now. We can just go into line and just charge. Let's finish these guys off. So yeah, there are a few mods I would recommend. I won't show you guys exactly how to install them at the end of this video, but I will link them down below, and you can just obviously follow the same way that I'll show you guys to install everything else, which should be pretty simple. Yeah, man, the archers falling back are actually deadly. I wish this was a tactic as well that you could actually employ. Like, why can't I tell my archers to, like, fall back and shoot? Maybe I can. Can you do that? Oh, maybe you can. Maybe fall back is actually... Okay, that's actually a really good tactic, I guess, that you could use. Something I've never done is the fallback tactic before. I actually didn't even realize it was a tactic. I imagine with your archers, you do that and they actually fall back and shoot. Okay, we've just leveled up. I put, like... 800 hours in Bannerlord, and I never thought of that. Because normally there's just so many tactics that the AI has access to when you give over command that the player doesn't. So it's like, oh, why even bother? And normally you just F1, F3. But yeah, that fallback tactic is actually probably something that I'm going to use in my future playthroughs. Because I assume they don't just fall back, right? I assume if I tell my soldiers to fall back, they'll, like, fighting retreat? I assume? Let's have a look, actually. Sorry, I know this is really off tangent. Yeah, I guess they would just fall back and, like, fight on their way back. Like, I kind of want them almost to be, like, in shield wall, falling back slowly. That's interesting. Sorry, off tangent. But yeah, that's going to be the units. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. We're now going to move over to the install guide. So if you guys want to see exactly how to install this mod, we're going to dive into that right now. So if you guys are jumping up a video right now, be sure to drop a like and a comment down below. It really helps out the channel and I really appreciate it. If you want to see more mods on the channel, obviously subscribe for more. We cover a whole range of mods for Bannerlord. Basically, if it's a cool new mod, I will probably cover it on this channel. And if you are sticking for the mod tutorial, please again do drop a like and a comment down below, as it really does help and kind of weighs out the retention being lost from doing these install guides. Okay, first things first, as always with installing, make sure you go ahead and verify your game integrity by right-clicking on Bannerlord, going to Properties, going down to Local Files, and hit Verify of Game Files. This will basically clean your Bannerlord and make sure you have no lingering mod files from previous games, and it's the best way to go ahead and ensure that there'll be no crashes. And you want to do is basically, whenever you start a new mod list, always a good idea to go ahead and do this. It saves you having to reinstall the game, and it's pretty quick. Also, make sure that you are on 1.7.1. Again, you can do that by hitting the betas, going down to 1.7.1 and clicking it, and it will make sure that you are on the version needed for this mod. Then what you're going to want to go ahead and do is open up the Crusading Calradia mod. I'll leave a link to this and all the other mods you need down below in the description. You can see here exactly your load order you need and also the other mods that you'll collect. I'll link these mods that you do need down below in the description as well. But really easy. All you're going to do is go over, click manually download, and go ahead and click that slow download button. That will get your file installed. Then, of course, you need Swardian armor like the mod goes ahead and requires you. So go ahead and click the file and do the exact same thing. Make sure you do go ahead and click manual download. I don't really enjoy using the mod manager. I feel like it creates problems. So go ahead and just manually download it, and then do the same for the banner color persistence as well as this. You also go ahead and get banner paste as well, and it works at 1.7.1. Make sure you're downloading this one right here. Okay, so now that you've gone ahead and got all of the free files you need downloaded, you're going to want to go ahead and open them with a program like WinRAR or 7-Zip. I won't show you how to install them. It's super easy. You can just Google it and find plenty of tutorials out there. I'm using WinRAR, as it's never failed me wrong. You're going to then want to go ahead and find the place where you want to drop the game into or drop the mods into. You can easily do that by going ahead and right-clicking on Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord, going to Manage and click Browse Local Files. That is going to go ahead and pop up your Bannerlord folder right here. We'll get rid of that. Yeah, it's going to go ahead and pop up this, and then you're just going to want to go into your modules, and then here is where you dump all the files. So go ahead and open back up your downloads, and then go ahead and double click on the mods themselves to go ahead and open them up. The Crusader mod, you do need to click into it, go into modules, and then drag and drop these files into your module folder in Bannerlord. Super easy, it will just move them over. This won't pop up for you, it's just because I've already got the mods installed. It should just drag and drop in. If this does pop up, make sure you delete these first by obviously closing this, deleting the files you have here, and then going ahead and drag and dropping these in. But they should just pop in, and do the exact same for all the other mods that you downloaded. So for example, Swardian Armor, you just do exactly the same thing by drag and dropping them, and that should go ahead and really can just pop in and be absolutely fine. Okay, so now that you've got all them files installed, your game should look something like this. I do also recommend you go ahead and grab Harmony. I'll link that down below in the description. You install it the exact same way, and it just goes right at the top of your Bannerlord mod load order. This is also a custom mod launcher that I use. Again, I'll link this down below in the description. Again, it just makes kind of managing your mods really easy. You can turn them off super effectively and move them around in your load order really easily. So yeah, your game should look something like this. Harmony at the top, you'll have your Crusader Calradia load before native at the top, test mods above native, then you have the vanilla Bannerlord files, and then Crusader, Calradia Crusading, Swardian Armor, and then the banner code as well. Right there, you'll go ahead and click save. Well, I guess if you're using the vanilla one, you won't, but you just go ahead and load it up that way. And there you go, your game should just load like that. So yeah, make sure you go ahead and grab Harmony. I forgot to mention that beforehand. But again, I'll link it down below in the description. You just install it the exact same way we did the other mods. And hopefully that helped. Enjoy your life crusading with Calradia. And I'll see you guys in the next one.